18th century, the political formations. In this chapter, we will be discussing how the changes happened in the 18th century. That is, in the early 18th century, the Mughal Empire boundaries were reshaped. What are the changes that happened? Why did the Mughals lose control over their kingdom? What are the problems that they have faced? What are the conditions that happened to them? Who are the new rulers who invaded our country? What happened internally? Why the mighty strong empire became weak? These all we will try to discuss here, and we are going to learn in this chapter from 1707 to 1761 the major changes which had happened starting from the death of Aurangzeb till the third battle of Panipat. In this process, we also would like to learn how the Britishers grabbed the major chunk of the Indian subcontinent into their hands after 1765. So all these parts, all these important points we will be discussing in this chapter. First of all, let us now learn why the Mughals have lost their control. There is no single specific reason for this. There are a variety of reasons for this, why the Mughals lost control over the mighty empire. It is with the death of Aurangzeb. Many of the historians conclude this saying that the historian was the last most powerful ruler of the kingdom. But the fact is, Aurangzeb himself waged many wars and he depleted the military strength and the financial resources what the Mughal Empire had till that time. With the death of Aurangzeb, it became clear and evident for all of them that financially the Mughals are weak now. And it's not only this, the rulers who succeeded Aurangzeb could not control or check the rising power of the nobles, mansabdars, the local governors, Diwani people and the Faujdari people. So all these people started to grow stronger and stronger, and in this process of becoming stronger, they started to consolidate their own economic resources what they had during that time. And as at every place the mansab controlling a region stopped paying the tax to the central unit, while in the nobles they stopped paying the amount to the central unit, followed by the governors, the Diwanis, the Faujdaris. So all these people slowly, part by part, everybody stopped donating or giving the amount which is being collected as tax to the central administrative unit. So finally what happened? The revenue of the Mughal Empire started to decline day by day, day by day. So the last Mughal powerful emperor is Aurangzeb. During his tenure also he waged many wars, but the major military and the finances started to get depleted during his time, and after his death, the successors who succeeded the Mughal Empire could not control the growth or powerful establishments of the mansabdars, nobles, governors, diwanis or the Faujdaris. Result of this is the revenue started to get declined. Now, not only this, as I mentioned earlier, there are a variety of reasons. Adding point for this is the peasants and the zamindari revolts. The peasants and the zamindars in the northwestern part started to raise their voices against the Mughal rulers. One major reason why they started to raise their concerns against the Mughals is that the mounting amount of tax which is being laid on them. Because of heavy taxation on these people started to raise their voices and revolt against the existing rulers, that is the Mughal emperors. Is this a new concept to the Mughals? The mighty Mughal Empire could not crush a small rebellion which is against them, that too from the peasants and the zamindars. No, they are able to manage very successfully in the initial years. As there are variety of issues, and we can see the mansabdars, the nobles, governors stopped giving the amount to the central unit, and the economy it started to get ruined, military started to get ruined. Now it has become very difficult for the Mughal rulers to control these kind of rebellions which are being raised in the northwestern part. And followed by this, we have the political crisis in the kingdom. Then we have Nadir Shah's invasions, which he came to the nation and he ruined the wealth of the country. He grabbed the entire wealth in 1739, who is an Iranian ruler who invaded India in 1739. Political crisis followed by Nadir Shah, the Iranian ruler who invaded India in 1739 and ruined the wealth of the kingdom, the Mughal Empire, followed by Ahmad Shah Abdali's invasions, that is from 1748 to 1761. In the span of 13 years, he invaded 5 times the Indian subcontinent, and he also ruined the wealth, and this brought Mughal Empire into the economic crisis. And followed by this, the nobles of the Mughal kingdom started to gain control, and they started to dictate the rulers, the Mughal emperors. So the Mughal emperors became puppets in the hands of the nobles, and these nobles are again divided into 2 groups. Those are the Iranian groups and the Turanis groups. Turanis. So the Iranians as well as Turanis. So these nobles became so powerful that they planned and executed and they assassinated 2 Mughal emperors. Those are Farrukhsiyar and Alamgir II, while the other Ahmad Shah and Shah Alam II were blinded by these nobles. From these incidents, we can understand how powerful the nobles are and how weak the emperors became in the hands of the nobles. It's just like puppets. They started to assassinate them, they started to make them blind. So because of all these variety of reasons, because of the economic crisis, because of the military crisis, because of the peasants and the zamindars rebellions, because of the rise of the nobles, mansabdars, governors, diwanis, the fauzidars, where the emperors became weak, who succeeded Aurangzeb and could not check the rising of mansabdars, nobles, governors, diwanis, as well as the rebellions which are raised by the peasants and the zamindars because of the taxation burden which is falling on them. Variety of all these reasons, and followed by Nadir Shah's invasions in 1739, Ahmad Shah Abdali's invasions in 1748 to 1761, and the growth of the nobles at the apex point of the Mughal Empire, that is the central unit, where they divided themselves into Iranians as well as Turanis, and these people started to control the emperors, and when the emperors could not listen to them, or whenever they refused, they started to assassinate them. We have examples like Farrukhsiyar and Alamgir II. We also have Ahmad Shah Abdali and Shah Abdali, Shah Alam II also, who were the victims of nobles' acts who made them blind. So these are some of the reasons why the Mughals could not control or could not hold their control over the large mighty empire in the 18th century, and there are variety of reasons for this. That is one of the main reasons why the political boundaries of Mughal Empire were reshaped in the 18th century. Emergence of the new states. As we discussed that the political boundaries of the Mughals are reshaped because the emergence of the local nobles, mansabdars and governors, diwanis, fauzidars. All these people started to gain control over their local provinces. So now the situation is that the Mughal Empire started to become weak and these people started to grow stronger. If we have to categorize this, how the new states got emerged, we can broadly categorize them into 3 categories. First, the old Mughal provinces, which were earlier part of the Mughal Empire and which were controlled by the Mughal mansabdars, governors or the fauzidars. That will be the first category. The second category, the Vatan Jagirs. The Jagirs who established their control over that region. And the third category comes the Marathas, Sikh and the Jats. So like this, broadly we can categorize the emergence of the new states from the old Mughal Empire into 3 major categories. One is the old Mughal Empire provinces like Awadh, Bengal and Hyderabad. The next, Vatan Jagirs. And third one, Marathas, Sikhs and the Jats. So in this lesson we will learn each new state, how did it emerge, what is the outcome of that, all this in detail. First let us look at the basic information of the old Mughal provinces, what we have for us. It is like Awadh, then Bengal and Hyderabad. These 3 are the old Mughal provinces which got emerged as a new states, that is the state of Awadh, the state of Bengal and the state of Hyderabad. Who established these states? Who are none other than the old trusted mansabdars of the emperor. These mansabdars are of high rank mansabdars, or the Zat rankings were very high. It's like Awadh was established by Sadat Khan, the mansabdar, and his Zat rank is 6,000, while Murshid Kuli Khan, head of the Bengal region, his Zat rank is 7,000, while same with Hyderabad, Asaf Jah, the Zat rank is 7,000. These people are not new to this region, as we mentioned earlier. They are controlling these provinces from many years, and they are the most trusted people of the emperor. As the emperor started to become weak and puppets in the hands of the nobles, these people start to ascertain their own powers, gain control over that region with their ranking status, like Asaf Jah with 7,000 Zat rank, while Murshid Kuli Khan with 7,000 Zat, while Sadat Khan slightly less, 6,000 Zat ranking. So now let us learn in detail how the state of Awadh, state of Bengal and state of Hyderabad got emerged. Moving to understand the emergence of the new states which were once the part of the old Mughal Empire, that is the Hyderabad, then followed by Awadh and Bengal. First, let us learn about Hyderabad. The Hyderabad state, as we already discussed, was established by Nizam-ul-Mulk Asaf Jah. He became the real authoritative person of Hyderabad from 1724 to 1728, and he was one of the trusted members of the Mughal court. He was initially appointed as the governor of the Awadh and later asked to take over the charges of Deccan. It is from 1720 to 1722. He observed the entire political in the financial control, the financial situations which are happening in the Deccan, and he tried to gain control over that. And later, with the decline of the Mughal control over the empire, he ascertained the situation and he started to gain control over that particular region, that is Hyderabad. And he brought new soldiers from the north to the south, which is welcomed by the new soldiers, the new opportunity for them. And he appointed his own Mansabdars and the Jagirs, which he removed the Mansabdars of the Mughals and he appointed his own members. And the Hyderabad state was always in war with the Marathas and the Nayakas of the Andhra region, and the Asaf Jah's dream was to control the entire eastern part, that is the Coromandel coast, which is the most fertile plain, rich fertile plain, which is checked by the Britishers during that period. Like this, Asaf Jah, the Nizam-ul-Mulk Asaf Jah, who established control from 1724 to 1728, was once upon a time the most trusted noble or Mansabdar of the Mughals, and his rank is around 7,000 Zat rank, and he ruled the Awadh as a governor, and later he was asked to take the charges of Deccan from 1720 to 1722. He observed the political and the financial situations in the region and slowly gained control over them, removed the local Mansabdars, governors who are appointed by the Mughals, and established his own people there in that places and gained control over them, and finally he could occupy the Marathas and the Nayakas here, and they were in war with the Marathas and the Nayakas, and he wanted to control the entire eastern part, the Coromandel coast, which was checked by the Britishers during that period. And coming to the Awadh, the Bara-ul-Mulk Sadat Khan, he was a Subedar of Awadh from 1722, and he observed that Awadh is one of the most fertile plains that is near the Ganga Plain Valley, and he combined the offices of Subadari, Divani and Fauzidar. He used to discharge the duties being the combined officer of Subedari, Divani and Fauzidari. It's like revenue, administration and military. All these three responsibilities are handed over to Sadat Khan for the region of Awadh during this period. And slowly he reduced the number of Zagirs, number of the office holders who are appointed by the Mughals, and he appointed his own trusted members there in these places, and he started to put his own systems in place there. He started to collect a new pattern of collection of the taxes, that is the revenue farmers. The revenue farmers will be given the time to bid for the taxes, and once the taxes are collected, once they started to collect the taxes from them, and slowly they start to gain control over that place, and they are given freedom to assess and collect the taxes for the farmers. But in order to pay this money, the local bankers were seen in the picture. They used to carry the sum of amount to the farmers and the Mahajans. So now the relation between the rich landlords or the bankers started to get established with the farmers, where now the tax collection system slowly started to get changed. and like this he started to gain control over the Awadh region, followed by the Bengal region. Bengal region is appointed by Murshid Quli Khan, who is the Naib or the Subedar region rank, and he quickly seized the power as the other both states have experienced, like Asaf Jah in Hyderabad and Sadat Khan in Awadh. The similar thing happened with Bengal, where he seized the power and he transferred all the Mughal Jagirs from the Bengal region to the Orissa region so that he can gain control over them, and he appointed his own trusted members there. And the revenue collection was very strict. The local zamindars were forced to pay the taxes in time, which made them to lend money from the money lenders or the local bankers. And during his tenure, the Jagat Seth was one of the most prosperous money lender of that time. So like this, the Bengal, the Awadh and the Hyderabad states started to get emerged. And if we have the bird view of all these three states, what is the common similarity that we have here is that suspicious of Zagirdars, always they are worried or somehow they did not trust the Zagirs or the Zagirdar system, what is in place by the Mughals. They always try to revamp this one. They always introduce their own systems of taxes here. The second important thing is different types of tax collections are being introduced here. And the third one, rich banks and merchants started to come in place here, and they are in contact with the rulers as well as with the tax collectors, indirectly with the rulers. So these are the three important points what we can observe from these three states getting emerged from the old Mughal Empire. Moving on to understand the Watan Jagirs of Rajput. The second important states which have come up, first the old provinces, second the Watan Jagirs. So in the Watan Jagirs, we have the two kingdoms which are getting emerged here. One is the Amber and the other one is Jodhpur. These two were the part and parcel of the Mughal Empire, but what is the difference between the old Mughal Empire states and these regions? The old Mughal empires were directly controlled by the Mughal rulers. They established their own mansabdars, their own nobles there as the in charges. But here, when it comes to the Watan Jagirs, the Amber and the Jodhpur, all these two are having subsided their authority to the Mughals, but at the same time they are given some autonomy to rule their own kingdoms, and that's the reason why they are called as Watan Jagirs or Zagirs. Now who control these regions? First, let us move with Jodhpur. The Jodhpur region is controlled by Ajit Singh, who was also the in charge of a rich income which we get from the Gujarat and the Malwa places. So they were also the Subhas of the Gujarat and the Malwa regions. They are not only the Watan Jagirs of Amber and Jodhpur, but they were also the in charges of the Subhas of the most prosperous regions where the huge revenue has been generated, that is from Gujarat and the Malwa regions. So Jodhpur, ruled by Ajit Singh, was given the in chargeship of Gujarat, and he started to get involved himself in the factional politics of the Mughal rule, and he started to become very influential during that period. And followed by Amber ruler, that is Raja Jai Singh, who was also given the additional authorities of Malwa along with Amber region as his Watan Jagir. As the time passed on, they started to expand their control. They want to redraw the boundaries. They want to renew the boundaries what they had. So it was Jalandhar Shah in 1713 who renewed the boundaries, who extended the boundaries of Jodhpur Watan Jagir and the Amber Watan Jagir. So where did they expand? What are the additional places that they got added to their kingdoms? One, the Nagpur got added to the Jodhpur region under the rule of Ajit Singh, while Savai and Bundi got added to Malwa. Along with this, the additional responsibility what they gained or the achievement what they achieved under the able leadership of Raja Jai Singh was that he established a new capital in the Jaipur region, and also he has been given the Subedari rights of Agra in 1722. That's how they started to redraw the boundaries or extended their boundaries of their kingdoms. But all these started to become checked and they could not expand further because of the Marathas campaigning into the Rajasthan region. They could not extend their boundaries further because they need to protest the Maratha invasions which are reigning against them. So these are the Vatan Jagirs, that is, one is Amber, the other one is Jodhpur. Amber and Jodhpur were also given the additional responsibilities of the most fertile parts during that period, or prosperous parts during that period, that is the Gujarat and the Malwa regions. They tried to redraw the boundaries. They were successful to quite an extent, like Nagpur getting added to the control of Jodhpur region, while Savai and Bundi getting added for the Raja Jai Singh's Malwa region, and Jaipur, where the new capital was established by Raja Jai Singh, and he also got the extra responsibility of Subedari of Agra in 1722. Along with this, they started to expand their kingdoms towards the north, but they had a big threat under the name of Marathas campaigns. They started to attack the Rajasthan region. So in order to save themselves, they could not extend their kingdoms further, and they started to restrict themselves there and fight against the Maratha campaigns which were reigning against them.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.